Hello friends, welcome to CRM Fine Art channel. In this video, I will be sharing with you all some of the things that I have learned about portraiture over the years. So, as you can see, I am trying to sketch the portrait of the character Harley Quinn, played by the actress Margot Robbie. So, as you can see, I am trying out my best to be fairly accurate in the sketch. So this initial sketch, this is the first step that I take when painting portraits, because this step is like a foundation to all that complex things like brushwork, simplification, understanding the planes, placing the tonal values, all these things that are going to come later on. This step will make it easier for me. Instead of working directly on a blank space, now because of this sketch I get to think about the final result and work towards it. So I'm using a little bit of a burnt umber along with lots of yellow ochre for this. I'm not using any linseed oil. All I use is paints, oil paints and turpentine. If you want to know more about the materials that I'm using for this painting, check the description box below. I have given all the details about this about the materials that I'm using. Okay, so now I'm placing some shadow tones on the face, on the hair. I'm using some vertical brushstrokes because this is vertical brushstrokes makes it easier for me to understand the shape better. There is no specific rule to how you should place the brushstrokes. It's entirely left up to you. So I use vertical because it works for me. So I'm placing a little bit of shadows on the hair and on the cloth as well. Okay, I'm introducing a new color. I'm using Vermillion right now, and what I'm more concerned is not directly about the color, but color is like a secondary thing to me. What I've learned over the years is to give more priority to the tonal values, because even if there is no color, we can always create an image with just a tone, with few tones. So tone is always important, even more so than color. Okay, now I'm moving on to the other side of the shape. I'm using black and some vermilion and some other leftovers on the palette. Now I'm thinking of connecting shapes together, because when it is a portrait, all shapes need to work as one unit, not only while painting portraits but other subjects like landscapes, etc. But in this instance there has to be connection with every other shape. Okay, so if for those who are new to portrait painting, those of you who are beginners, I would suggest you don't think much about all these fancy words like brushwork, simplification, connecting shapes, and all that. What you need the most for the time being is to figure out and maintain the right proportions of the face. That is what is crucial. So once you figure out all the things related to maintaining the right proportion, then you can move on to things like tonal values and color and all that. So I suggest you refer the Andrew Loomis method online. A lot of material is available online for free, and use that knowledge into your practice of portraiture, and then move on to painting a portrait only using black and white color, because that's where you will learn tones and then move on to color and other complicated stuff. Okay, so that is my advice for beginners. Okay, now I'm placing few minor details on the prominent shapes in the portrait. Those are the eyes, nose and lips. I'm using a synthetic brush for this because using a synthetic brush gives me the hard edges that is needed. Those crisp hard edges will make things pop out and create a very nice visual impact. So all the any unnecessary mistakes that might have been done in the earlier, I am slowly trying to fix them. And now I go to more thinking at this point, because all the shapes that I placed earlier will need some defining to be done. And placing these quick and bold brush strokes will help me do that. Okay, so from this point onwards I have to be more careful. I'm placing a little bit of extra shadows on the hair, defining certain things. Also, I'm trying to find possibilities for simplification. I'm trying to paint a lot of brush strokes in my mind, because it's always good to resolve things before I place any brushwork on the paper. And simplification means less work, because I'm not into painting highly detailed stuff. I like to paint bold, paint simple, and attempt to create a visual poetry. Okay, so now I'm placing much lighter values on the face. This will add more life into the composition. I'm using yellow ochre and a little bit of white, and also some leftovers from the palette. This point has to be one has to be very careful, because too much of light tones will totally ruin everything. So light tones must be placed very carefully. I'm moving on to darker tones, defining the eyes a little bit more. One great thing about placing the dark tones is that dark tones will always attract viewers' eye, and they tend to control every other shape around them. And we have to be careful in placing them, because we don't want unnecessary attention. So now I'm placing a little bit more warmer tones on the lips, hoping that I've captured the likeness to some extent. Placing a little bit of highlights on the nose, on certain areas of the face. And those who are new to portraiture, I would suggest practice eyes, nose and lips separately over and over again on separate paper. This will help you tackle any complex compositions, and practicing eyes in different angles will give you the general idea of understanding the shape better. Okay, so now I'm moving on to placing more light on certain shapes, giving more detail to the hair, bringing them to the front. Okay, and the final step is the background. Painting the background will give a very pleasing effect, and I'm almost done with the work. So this is my finished work. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and got some basic ideas on portrait painting. If you are new to the channel, I suggest you check out my playlist section. I have uploaded quite a bit of videos there uh, regarding other subjects like still life, portrait, landscape painting, figure drawing tutorials, and so on. And if you want to consider supporting my channel, please do it by subscribing to my channel and hitting that like button, and also clicking on that notification bell so you won't miss any further updates from my channel. And thank you to all my subscribers who have supported me so far. And on that note, I will see you in the next video. Thank you all for watching.